Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Wanted to jump on, talk a little bit about recruiting. You know, the more we kind of get closer to this fall season, we kind of talk a little bit less about recruiting, a little bit more about this current football team, but I want to make sure we cover both on this channel, so we're going to get into it. As always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. Just hit that little thumbs up. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we are fans just like you. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Like I said, talk a little bit about recruiting. You can see there over at 24/7 Sports. Right now they've got Tennessee sitting at 11th overall for the class of 23. Of course, we scroll down, you can see the commitments. All the guys already in the boat. Nico, you've got two of the top 10 edge rushers in the country, with Shandavion Bradley and Caleb Herring, Ethan Davis, Cameron Seldon. A lot of big-time players in this class of 23 that really excite me. But honestly, when you look at recruiting, it feels like it has started to slow down just a little bit. Not really a surprise. We kind of knew that was coming. But it seems like we've talked more about the misses than the hits lately. Some of those at the offensive tackle position. Most recently, Stanton Ramel ends up at Michigan State. And, you know, when we were looking at offensive tackles and the targets, the guys that Tennessee was looking at, I really wanted to see this coaching staff land 2 out of 4 when it came down to Stanton Ramel, Lucas Simmons, Francis Mauigoa, and Shamrod Umarov. Of course, we all know that Shamrod Umarov was the only one that they landed out of those 4, but it also brings me back to another guy that's already committed, and that's Trevor Duncan. And we've had a lot of debates, a lot of conversations about where the 6'5", 277-pound athlete ends up. He's a 4-star prospect, and again, listed as an athlete because he plays both the offensive and defensive lines. And I wouldn't be surprised, of course, they're going to continue to evaluate and try to find offensive tackles. You've got a fall season coming up where you're going to see some names pop up on the radar that necessarily weren't there prior. They've still got some options there. Again, recently missed on Hunter Osborne on the defensive line, but the defensive line really doesn't concern me that much. I think Rodney Garner is always going to get more out of his guys than maybe any other position group on this team. You've got some big-time edge rushers already in the boat. So if you can find a way, I think Rodney Garner is going to be fine on the defensive line. So I'm not too concerned about that. Another guy worth keeping an eye on, and I've talked about him. I've made some videos on him before, and that is 4-star running back Roderick Robinson out of San Diego, California. 6'1", 230-pound running back, like his size, like his tape. Big-time player. He's been committed to UCLA for a while now, a couple of months, but he was visiting Tennessee. He listed Tennessee in his top 6 before the commitment. He was here back in May. But Tennessee's continuing to push in on him. Georgia also in the mix, hoping Roderick Robinson ends up on campus for an official visit this fall. But I think he would be a big-time addition in this class of 23 at the running back position. Again, when you look at who Tennessee's got, they've got the quarterback. They've got some big-time talent at wide receiver in Cameron Seldon. Even though he's listed as a 4-star, I think that kid's a 5-star and may ultimately end up being a 5-star. You've also got the 4-star tight end Ethan Davis out of Swanee, Georgia, 6'5", 221 pounds. Nico's got some weapons on offense. Nico's got some guys that he can get the ball to. Needs a big-time running back in this class. Of course, you've got the kid, Will Stallings, out of Las Vegas, Nevada, already committed. But I think what Roderick Robinson would bring to the table is a big-time playmaker at running back. And again, he's got that SEC size at 6'1", 230 pounds. So don't close the door, even though he's committed to UCLA. His recruitment is still open. And that's another thing that's going to happen. And I like the way that Josh Pate put it a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago, in a video that he made. Every college across the country is going to have to continue to recruit guys that are already committed. And they're going to continue to recruit guys that are committed to other schools. That's the way recruiting works. And again, it goes to show what will happen if Josh Heupel and this football team go out and have success this fall. You'll see another change in momentum in the world of recruiting. Another guy worth noting, although it's probably a little bit more negative, Tennessee, the last couple of guys I'm going to look at are at the corner position. And that's where they really need to add some talent, is at corner. When you look at who's committed in the class of 23, most of their DBs, you've got Sylvester Smith. He's listed as a safety. You do have Christian Conyer. That was a big pickup out of Kentucky, one of the top players out of the state of Kentucky at the corner position. But you've also got John Slaughter and Jack Luttrell, both safeties in the class of 23. So I think, corner is probably, I would say corner, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, probably the priorities here as we continue to move forward in this recruiting cycle. But a couple of guys worth noting, Ricky Gibson, he's out of Alabama, nearing a decision, just coming off of a visit to Georgia. Tennessee had him on a visit back in June. He was a guy that Tennessee seemed to be sitting pretty good with, 6'1", 171-pound corner. But coming off that visit, it really seems to be all Georgia at this point. It was almost down to, is he a take at Georgia? And if not, Tennessee sits pretty good. But otherwise, it sounds like he is going to Georgia. But there is another option out here. Now, it depends on who you ask as to where this kid is at. And that is Jordan Matthews, 6 foot, 165-pound corner out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You can see, again, 4-star, 24/7 Sports Composite has him as a top 10 player out of the state of Louisiana, has him as a top 15 ranked corner in the entire class of 23. Now, you can see there the crystal ball prediction coming in for Texas. There was also somebody over at Rivals that put in a prediction to Texas as well. Now, this is a little snip from on3.com. Says that Jordan Matthews has stayed very busy throughout the summer with official visits throughout June and a return back to 40 acres this past weekend, and that's what everybody is talking about. If you ask Austin Price over at VAWLS.com, he said Tennessee was in a good spot. This thing is still up in the air prior to that Texas visit. Now, coming out of the visit with Texas, all the talking heads, all the experts, all the recruiting analysts are saying this thing's a done deal, that Jordan Matthews ends up at Texas. Austin Price says he continues to double down, saying he feels good about where Tennessee's at. That doesn't mean it's a lock. Don't go misquote Austin Price or go say Boogie Bentley said this. No, it's still up in the air. The recruitment is still open, and Tennessee is definitely in the mix. After he got back from the trip to Texas, he said it was down to 3 teams: Texas, Tennessee, and Michigan. But again, it really seems like it's a Tennessee-Texas type of battle here. But On3 goes on to say the four-star stock-up corner is set to choose from them sometime within the next month. Terry Joseph has been the driving force behind the Longhorn surge in Louisiana with commitments from Arch Manning, Derek Williams on the defensive side of the ball. Now, coming off of that visit also, a lot of people were talking about him changing his commitment date, moving his commitment date back, and it being a little bit earlier. And a lot of people were saying that was because of the visit to Texas. But again, that's not the case. That was always the plan. He was planning to move that commitment date back. So take it for what it's worth. But I just wanted to run down a brief update. Been a minute since we've talked a little recruiting on here. Again, the names to really focus on for me: 4-star running back Roderick Robinson, committed to UCLA, but that recruitment is still wide open. And then the 2 corner targets, cornerback Ricky Gibson, seems to me like he's leaning towards Georgia. And then Jordan Matthews, a lot of talking heads saying Texas. Austin Price over at VolQuest says that thing is not a done deal. It is still open, and Tennessee is in the mix. So you guys know what to do. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Does Tennessee have a shot at Jordan Matthews? And also, what would your priority targets be as we move forward in this class of 23? Again, for me, based on the last couple of weeks, I would say offensive tackle. You got to add another offensive tackle, maybe 2 in this class of 23, depending on what you do with the big athlete, Trevor Duncan. But then also outside of the offensive tackle, I think you got to have a defensive lineman for sure, a running back in this recruiting class, and probably another corner as well. But hit the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. If you have not done so yet, please make sure you smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. And you can also go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' VAWLS. Any and all sport. Greatly appreciated. Also dropped a video this morning on this 2022 season previewing, talking about the linebackers, Jeremy Banks, Jawan Mitchell. Go give it a watch and a thumbs up as well. But that is going to do it for this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.